There's a certain sanctity about education for me, because I grew up in a society where that was deliberately and legally denied people. In apartheid South Africa, fewer than 1% of black people went to college. So for me, education is always a privilege rather than a right. And I don't mean that people aren't entitled to it, but I mean that one is responsible to one's education. With my dissertation, I brought together questions of intellectuals, questions of the post-colonial. I'd undertaken what was essentially a cultural studies project, but I'd written myself into a corner. So I spent the last 13 years training myself in completely different ways. I moved further and further from questions of narrowly race to how does one think race philosophically. I am increasingly convinced that the only way you can do race is to think it. And for me, all thinking leads through Martin Heidegger. And that's full of contradictions, political difficulties, even ethical challenges. Heidegger was, in his crucial years a Nazi. He tried to disown that, but what do I take from that? I'm teaching an introductory class on Martin Heidegger and thinking. It's the only way I can confront my students with certain difficulties. And I think a part of me revels in that entanglement. People who taught me 40 years ago gave me things I didn't even know they were giving me in that moment. It's not up to me what my students take away from my classes, but I hope they leave there with a sense of intellectual difficulty and discomfiture. If I had a utopian vision of it, that's what it would be. Just leave there feeling completely unsettled.